card up this time if it's definitely a factor of 1,044. Don't be tentative, Yasmin, you're right. It's very easy, yours. Well done, Hannah. Did 3 is a factor. Why?
Because it's add up to 3, 6 or 9.
Well done. Shiyan, well done. 4 is a factor of it. Why?
Because the last 2 numbers are in whole lot on the table.
Yeah, remember not say numbers. The last 2 digits are a multiple of 4, so the whole number is. We got a sense that there wasn't enough teaching of maths going on. Math was happening, but it was more children doing maths. So we, through the use of various materials, videos and whatever, we sort of had a series of staff meetings, and everyone is trying to restructure their lessons so that they are the key, really, that every lesson has direct teaching.
I think one of the main things is their confidence to use number.
9 add 8 is 17. I just flashed it in my head that 9 add 9 was 18, and then I took one away and that was 17.
The second thing I'd say is how they articulate what they're doing. What's the answer to that? Philip?
9. It is 12.
It's 12. How did you work it out, Philip?
Because if
Tell me how
9 was 1 less than 10, and I knew 10 add on 3 was 13, so I just took one away.
And that made?
12.
12.
This video is about raising standards in the teaching of number. It features 3 schools which all identified weaknesses in their maths teaching. Each has adopted a range of teaching strategies with very good results.
Right.
The common key to success in all 3 schools is direct teaching in well-structured lessons. The clips that follow show how teachers teach pupils through instruction, questioning and explanation with the whole class or with small groups.
4 and a 4 to make 8.
All 3 schools emphasise knowledge of number facts and the ability to calculate quickly and accurately, both mentally and on paper.
6 and 7, 13.
The first is a county-maintained infant school situated in Rockwoodine Wood on the outskirts of Telford in Shropshire. The school has 150 pupils, aged from 4 to 7.
4 years ago, when we did an audit of the school, numeracy was identified as being a major concern. And so we brought in expertise from our local education authority and very much worked in partnership with advisory teachers.
The second school is in Slough in the southeast of England. It's a grant-maintained first and middle school with a nursery. There are 730 pupils aged from 3 to 12.
When we looked at our SATS results in 1992, we were very concerned because we weren't achieving high enough levels of achievement, particularly with our most able children. We were meeting the needs of the children that had difficulties, and we were meeting the needs of the average child, but the most able children were not being extended in the way that they should. And so we, as a school, started to look at ways of improving what was happening for those children.
The third school is an inner-city primary school in Kentish Town, North London. It's a Church of England school with a nursery and has 295 pupils aged from 3 to 11.
Well, we spent a lot of time last year as part of our in-service training as a school staff looking at maths and revising our policy, and I think looking very critically at the amount of maths teaching we were doing, because I think we all had a sense that we were facilitating maths or whatever, but we weren't necessarily teaching it. So there's been quite a move back towards the teacher as the key player in everything. And this year, we're all putting into practice what we said we'd do, which is a lot more mental arithmetic, everybody doing at least 15 minutes a day. More whole class maths in the sense that the whole class is doing maths at the same time. We're not necessarily doing the same activity for all the children, but we've evolved our own kind of style of a numeracy lesson which takes account of the different needs in a mixed ability group.
Start with this number.
In each school, improvement has resulted from the introduction of carefully structured lessons. A well-structured numeracy lesson has clear learning objectives, involves a high proportion of direct interactive teaching and has 3 distinct parts: an introduction, the main teaching activity, and a plenary session.
Another operation, please.
The following brief clips show the effective use of oral mental sessions to begin numeracy lessons. In the first example, Deputy Head Mo Coulson introduces her lesson with a Year 1 class.
We were counting backwards. Now we're going to count in ones, and we're going to count forwards. For a lot of the children, they need practice counting and ordering numbers. But for a group of children, they're focusing on counting backwards. And for another group of children, they need to now start starting at a given number and counting on. So that, those are all skills that they're going to need when it comes to calculating mentally. Look carefully at these numbers, and I'm going to ask you if you can tell me which number is missing. Can you tell me, Robert? In the first one.
5.
5. How do you know it's 5 that's missing?
Because there's a 4. It's between a 4 and a 6.
Good boy. Claire, if you tell me the next one, which number's missing?
11.
11. How do you know it's 11?
Because 12 comes after 11.
That's right. Number 11 and 12 comes after number 11.
I try to pitch questions so that I'm going to involve the children of all abilities, so that they will all be able to take part.
At primary school, maths lessons begin with oral work and mental calculation for the whole class.
Remember, you have only about 10 seconds.
The emphasis is on speed and accuracy.
Andrew.
526.
Right. And are you ready? David.
10 out of 10.
Another one, another operation, please.
Half of 40.
Half of 40, well answered. Christopher?
2 times 10.
Well done. Times there. Have you got another one, Christopher?
Quarter of 18.
Impressed.
26 degrees 6.
Well done. Danielle?
21.
Megan?
3/4.
3/4. And this brings us to what? What do we call these? Yes, George?
Fractions.
Fractions. What is a half? Add a half of a half. You can tell me that. Yes, Christopher.
3/4.
3/4. Oh, let's go one further. We can tell me what's a quarter add a half of a quarter. Think carefully, because Christopher knows.
3/8.
3/8.
Today's lesson we're going on from fractions and we're going to look at percentages. Before I give you my definition of percentages, I want you to think, where have you seen percentages used before? Discuss it with your partner and see how many different ways you can think of.
In this final example of an introduction, Bob Gardner uses the first few minutes to revise previous work to introduce the theme of today's lesson.
Aaron, have you got another type of use of percentages?
Well, in clothes it might say like 100 made of 100% cotton or 100%